This is the EVP Podcast. All right, we're back with another EVP Podcast. We got some special guests.
Some special what?
Some special guests.
Some special guests?
Guests.
We've got some guests with us
some
today.
Special guests.
Thank you for joining us here on the EVP Podcast.
Yeah, we do things in one take. We don't double
To
take.
the left of me, we've got...
Well, we got Ghosty in the house.
And I'm Beaker.
I'm Chad.
And I'm Tristan.
Yeah, we promised you guys a special guest episode this week, and you got it, so there you go.
So we got the unknown investigators.
Yes.
So let's get to know you. So tell us, what got you guys going into the paranormal?
For me personally, it's been a family thing. Like, all growing up, my family always had paranormal stuff happening to them. No matter where they moved, no matter where they went, it was just always... I don't know if we were cursed or it was just bad luck or what, but it just...
Where about in Utah were you growing up?
It originally started out in Huntington, Utah. That's when basically the shit hit the fan, basically.
Really?
Yeah.
What age were you?
I was like 5 or 6 at the time is when I first seen my first actual spirit. Literally was ingrained into my head till the end of time.
Full apparition?
Full apparition. Freaked me the heck out. Of course, I was a little kid, so I didn't know what was going on. But
Right.
Yeah, terrifying. Nothing really happened to me, but just seeing it, it was shocking.
Was it an old barn house or something, an old farmhouse that you grew up in, or?
My dad purchased the house from a buddy of his, and it could have been. It's been so long. Like,
Was it an old house?
it's
then?
just an old white house. Just
I imagine Huntington being like a bunch of old.
yeah. And back then there was like almost nothing around, so it was like farmland everywhere. So who knows? But there was some messed up stuff in that house.
Crazy. Is it still standing?
It is. At least last time that I checked a few years back, me and the family tried to go revisit it. Mm-hmm. Couldn't get out of the car, so we're just like, it's still there. See ya. Because we're all like, all right, we need to go see, and we go see if we can still feel everything. But we got up to the front porch, and no one can get out of the car, and we're like. Eventually, I got out of the car, walked up to the fence, and I'm like, nope, can't do it. Got in the car, and we all left.
So how many years did you live in the house?
We didn't even live there for a full year.
Really?
It was, I don't know what happened when my father purchased it from his friend, but apparently he didn't tell us a lot of the things that were happening and why he was moving, because almost immediately stuff started happening. It was a lot of poltergeist activity, so
Wow.
it was nothing good. Like, it wanted us out, like, the second we moved in.
So what all things were happening?
There was dishes being thrown, knives being tossed at walls, stuff just being broke, stuff ended up missing, just being moved around, voices telling us to get out, that you're gonna die, just a lot of stuff.
So normal, everyday stuff.
Normal everyday things. Yeah.
That's what we all go through, right?
That gave me some chills. Damn.
Like, I was still young, but I still remember one day, me and my mom, it was right after school. I just got home. My brother and sister were still at school because I was younger, so obviously I got out before them. Mm-hmm. My mom decided we're just going to go out front, sit on the porch, and just wait for for the buses to show. And it's just me and my mom. My dad was at work. There was no one home. Closed the door, sit on the porch, and then it sounded like there was a party going on in the house. You could hear people talking and laughing and music playing. And my mom's like, did I turn the stereo on or something? So she opens up the door. Total silence. We're like, what the crap? Shuts the door. Instantly, music starts playing, people talking again. We're like, we're not going in the house at all for the rest of the day till your father gets home, so I hope we have fun outside.
Right?
It was an interesting, very terrifying place.
Dang.
I want to go there.
I do too. I want to check this out.
I want to go back there, dude.
I mean, me and my mom aren't on exactly talking terms. Otherwise, I'd be like, yeah, I want to take another trip down there. She's the only person that's mentally capable of remembering where the address is
Gotcha.
in the family. So, yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, if someone lives there, you just go out and knock on their door. Hey, I heard there's some ghosts here.
Is this place haunted? Is
I
this place
used to live
haunted?
here and some messed up stuff happened. Is this still happening?
I brought my gear. Want it out?
I'm just gonna go through Huntington and just not knock on every door. But hey, do you
Right.
have weird stuff going
Knock on
on?
all 6 doors in Huntington.
Yeah,
Hey, do you have, besides me knocking on your door, do you have weird stuff going on here?
for real. Yeah, I've lived in a lot of haunted like places and homes, but that takes the cake. Have you guys ever seen Amityville? The movie. Think of that, but in that house. Like almost to a T, except for a couple tiny little things. Like
So
maybe,
like that, but real.
yeah, like it. The funny thing is, all this horrible stuff happened to us, and we ended up, because it got so bad, we ended up leaving all of our stuff, couches,
Really?
clothes. We only ran out the door with the clothes on our back, and we never turned back. We left all of our stuff behind.
That is pretty crazy because you hear about stuff like that happening.
Yeah.
And you see that kind of in movies and things like that, that being that scared that you just leave everything. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that
And then,
place was really dark.
And then you say you're not in it for the money, and then write a book and have a movie made about it.
That's the funny thing is, like, years down the road, didn't even know that movie existed, and then it came out on like DVD or whatever, and I'm like, oh, I love horror movies. I've always had, so I'm like, I'm gonna watch this. I watched the whole thing, and I was just like in tears. At
Just
the end,
brought
and I'm
back
like-
all those memories?
and all my hair is standing up, and I'm just like shaking, and my wife at the time's like, what the heck, are you good? I'm like, no. And I got on the phone with my mom, and I'm like, hey, have you heard of this movie? And she's like, no, I've never heard of it, not once. And I'm like, stop what you're doing, go down, get this movie and watch it. Stop everything, just do it. And she's like, why? And I'm like, just promise me you'll just do it. And then call me the second you're done watching it. And she's like, all right, I'll do it. Like an hour or so later, she calls me crying. She's like, how did these people have the same experience as we had? They left their clothes and everything like we did, the whole 9 yards. And I'm like, that's what I said. It was a dark place. I don't know what happened before we moved there, like what the original owners did, or if it's the land or what, because obviously I was young and my parents weren't going to find out, so we just left. So there's a big mystery there too.
My guess is there's just not a lot to do out there. I bet you some kids got a Ouija board.
I would not doubt it, because it wasn't.
Especially around those times too.
Yeah, and like I said, I've lived in a lot of haunted homes, and I've done a lot of investigations. I've never seen anything that bad. Like, I've seen one decently bad at like the Lehigh Haunted Hospital when I used to do investigations there, but that house is still top like worst experiences.
Is that the one, the Lehigh Hospital? Is that the one where the old home is? The old folks' home is now?
It was a hospital, then it wasn't a home. Well, it's not an old folks' home, but it was a hospital. Then they converted it to an apartment, but that didn't last because people were terrified. So it was abandoned for years. Now it's not there anymore. They tore it down eventually because it was just too unsafe and things were getting really bad. Because I used to do investigations for the owner and do tours for him for years. Mm-hmm. And then he was just like, people are getting hurt, scratched, and he was like, I'm done. I don't want to do it anymore. So he had it all tore down. Now it's just a dirt parking lot with a couple cars sitting on it now.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of footage on that, and I did a lot of stuff. That was pretty crazy. The first time I was physically attacked at a place.
What? Tell us.
Yeah. We were doing a huge investigation, and there's several spirits in that place. Specifically, a girl called Mary. She was like 12 years old. She died. She was in the elevator, and the elevator fell, and she died inside the elevator. So a lot of the investigations kind of went around her, because we would always get voices from her, EVPs just left and right talking to us. It was just so crazy. So me and the owner and stuff got together and we're like, we want to get her to like communicate more and get like really good evidence. So I brought my kids. They were little at the time, and like my niece and nephew, and we're like, all right, if we bring kids, we can like draw her out and see if we can like see her and get her to do stuff. We did like the whole investigation, and we were coming upstairs towards the end from the crematory, which a lot of crazy stuff happened in that crematory. They did some bad things, which I didn't learn till later. So we're coming up the stairs. They're taking all the kids out through the front, and it's just, there was me, there was a medium, and then there was the tour guide that's kind of just watching us, making sure nothing gets broke or stolen or whatever. All I remember is I'm standing there, I'm recording, and then I like black out. And next thing I know, I'm waking up on the floor. The wall behind me is broke because it tossed me into a wall. The tour guide and the medium's picking me up, and they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm dazed and I'm cold and I don't know what happened." I'm just like, "What is happening?" And freaking out, like, "What is the deal?" And I couldn't like move my legs. My legs, my arms were like numb and cold. So they drug me out of the building.
It was like a movie, dude. Like, 'cause I was right next to him and I saw it happen.
How old were you when this
Oh,
happened?
dude, I don't even know what age I was,
I
but
don't either.
I was young, but I was right next to him. Like I stayed back with him. Everyone else was up ahead, and I stayed back with him. I was right next to him, and I just literally see him get lifted up and just thrown against the wall.
Holy shit.
And it was like a movie that just got chaotic real quick. It was just like, boom, happened. He was on the ground. He was like dazed out of his mind, and the owner and stuff was like, kind of like, okay, what do we do? So we like picked him up and like dragged him out of the building. Like he was like limp mode.
Yeah, for real.
And,
That's insane.
and it was just like, go, 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 get out of here. Like
Yeah.
it was crazy.
Yeah, the weird thing is that the medium and the owner said that they watched me hover above the ground 2 feet.
It was pretty far.
It was pretty far before I went back.
So you got lifted, and
I got lifted,
you were
and
blacked
then
out during this
I
too.
didn't even know what happened.
Yeah, it literally was like he got lifted and then went boom, just like real quick against
That's
the wall.
Yeah.
It was
crazy.
crazy.
It was that place was intense. Like there was some crazy stuff that went on in that place, which I still wish was available to like
like, yeah.
visit still and do ghost hunts. But yeah.
How long did it take you to get back in the building after that happened?
Oh, it was a couple years. I stopped investigating entirely after that because things that happened after that happened, I was just like, nope. My wife's like, "You're not doing it anymore." I'm like, "I don't want to
Did it
do it
follow you
anymore,"
home?
because that was it. Yeah, they followed me home. A few of them followed me home, which down the road, my wife found a psychic, some old lady up here.
It was up in Salt Lake.
It was up in Salt Lake somewhere. I don't.
She was a
it's been so
really good one.
I don't-
Pretty
I don't believe
expensive
it.
at the
Yeah.
time.
I don't believe in psychics, like for real. But this lady knew stuff about me before I even told her my name. So it freaked me out, and I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
when things happen that you're just like, what the shit? Yeah,
Yeah.
didn't you have to just like, okay, I'm going with it.
Yeah, just go with the flow.
yeah.
I had 2 attached to me from the hospital, which was physically making me sick. I wasn't sleeping, I wasn't eating, I was missing work. And so my wife's like trying to, do the whole paranormal thing, trying to figure out maybe it's something, maybe we'll just get a psychic. She's like, yeah, we'll get a psychic, see if they can like see what's happening, and maybe we can talk to your sister, because my sister died a few years before. And I still remember walking into this lady's building, going to shake her hand, and she grabs my hand and goes, "I am so sorry." And I'm like, "You're sorry? Well, I just, hi, why?" And she's like, "The 2 spirits that are attached to you from the hospital, they shouldn't be with you right now. And that's why you don't feel good, because they won't leave you alone. And so I'm very sorry, and we're going to fix it." I'm like, okay. I'm like, sure, that's what's happening. And then we like sit down at her table or in her like office, and we're sitting down. And so and then I was like, okay, yeah, this is my name. And she's like, "Yeah, I know, you don't have to tell me, I already knew." I'm like, cool. And then she's like, "All right, so what happened at the hospital was not your fault." I haven't told her anything. And I'm like, "How'd you know I was in the hospital, and what's happening? This isn't what?" She's like, "Yeah, the 2 spirits are from the hospital, and they're draining your like life force. That's why you're not sleeping, right?" I'm like, "No." And she's like, "When was the last time you ate?" I'm like, "I don't know, it's been a few days." Like, "You're missing work?" I'm like, "What is happening? How does she know this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've been missing work because I just haven't felt good, and I haven't been able to sleep or eat. I've been having night terrors." She's like, "All right, we're gonna fix it." So this will sound weird because you only hear this stuff in like movies, but which I said to her too. I'm like, "I'm gonna perform an exorcism on you, and we're gonna fix your problem." Which is not like the movie Exorcism, where they're like,
Right,
"Christ
yeah.
compels you," and all that fun stuff or whatever. She like does this like little chant and like puts her hands on me and like pushes the spirits away or whatever. And she's like, "I'm gonna do these things. I'm gonna put my hands and I'm gonna just slowly go down, and then you're gonna feel like cold and tingly as you're going down as I'm pushing my hands," which happened. And and it was really weird. And I was just like, I'm just going with the flow. And she's like, as soon as I get to your toes, I'm going to say they're gone, and then you're going to feel good again. You're going to be hungry. You're going to want to go take a nap probably at the same time, and you're just going to feel like you just woke up from like a month's sleep. I'm like, okay, sure. So she's just doing it. I'm just letting her. And then as soon as she got to the toes, the tingling stopped. And it's like I woke up. And I looked at my wife and I'm like, what is happening? Like, I feel good. I'm starving, but I feel good. And she's like, yeah, they're gone now. We're going to talk about your sister in a minute. She's in the corner waiting. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, because I didn't believe in the psychic stuff at all, but this lady must have been legit because I didn't say a word, and she's like, your sister wants to talk to you. She's sitting in the corner waiting for me to finish, and they're gone, so you should feel great. After you leave, you should be able to go eat and sleep and do whatever and be great again. And I was like, this is nuts. So, yeah.
The crazy thing with that, too, was the psychic, right?
Mm-hmm.
She... your sister or whatever says that she had a scent.
Yes.
It was like, wasn't it like cinnamon?
It was cinnamon, which I hate with a passion.
So he had that experience, and the scent was was cinnamon, right? Well, me and my cousin, it was his mom.
Okay.
And we were at the house just chilling, and me and my cousin get this whiff of cinnamon.
This is months later.
Yeah, this was
like
way
forever.
after we already listened to the video, because she recorded it on a tape.
Yeah.
And we listened to it and stuff, but it was just weird because we were sitting there and just chilling or whatever, and then we get this whiff of cinnamon, and we're like, okay, what? And I was like, isn't that your mom's smell? Didn't we just hear that? And he's like, yeah. But it was moving. It wasn't in one place. It was moving throughout the whole house. It was just it stayed in one place for a second, and then we would get up and kind of be and we were just chasing this smell. And we're like, dude, this is weird.
Yeah.
Your mom's smell is cinnamon, and we're smelling cinnamon, and there's no scents in here. There's no scents. There's no wall wax or anything like that or anything going on.
Unless it's beer and cigarettes, that's all you can smell. His dad was disgusting.
It was just weird, dude. It was just so odd. So it was a weird experience after that too for me. Was not expecting that. So
Yeah.
that was an odd instance that we had after that happened.
Yeah.
That'd have been really cool to have a K2 meter with you and be able to follow the scent.
Right. That would have been crazy. Because I've had stuff like that. Well, not the scent, but having the K2 and just following something and be like, oh, it's here oh, it's gone. Oh, wait, no, it's there.
Yep.
Oh, wait, no, now it's over there. And I'm like, where are you taking me kind of situation.
Yeah, it's weird when it's a scent though, because you're chasing this scent. It's just when people say when there's a demon or whatever, you smell sulfur and stuff. It's like that. It's
I think
everyone
that
has
someone farted. Someone farted. They smelled it. That's a demon. That's a demon.
I've personally dealt with
Farted
something
and-
like that. I farted on you last night.
Blamed it on
know it.
demons.
I farted you on track when we were on tracks, but no, it's true. I did. No, I was on an investigation, and the way it smelled for me, it was a mix of really bad body odor and manure or
Yeah.
feces, and it was horrible. Nothing as bad as what you went through, but I almost stopped investigating. I didn't sleep for 2 months. 'Cause it's not fun. So you said you stopped investigating and doing stuff for a couple of years. Was it during this time when you went and saw the psychic?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then-
it was right after. It was a couple weeks after the attack.
Okay.
And my wife, I guess she didn't tell me, but she was researching, trying to find psychics to see if they can help me or whatever. I don't know what the whole situation. I never did really ask her. So it was just 3 or 4 weeks after.
Okay,
And then she's like, okay, you're not feeling good, whatever.
So after all this happened, did that make you want to get back into it, or like you said, you were kind of gone for a couple of years?
Yeah, no, I still stopped for quite a while. I don't remember why I got... Oh, actually, I do remember why I started back into it. I worked at Walmart at the time, and I had this... I worked with this LDS lady that she didn't believe in ghosts or anything. It was just the Holy Spirit, and that's all that matters, and da-da-da-da-da. Well, anyways, she just got married to her husband, and they're temple, the whole 9 yards, and they moved into a house in Pleasant Grove, or no, American Fork. And she heard my stories that I used to do ghost hunting and all that stuff. So she was just like, hey, so what do you do and how does this work? And I'm like, all right, well, this is what I used to do and this is how I'd handle it, whatever. And she's like, well, these things are happening in my house. Like, we would be watching TV and my husband would go in the kitchen and grab a kitchen knife and try to kill me, and I don't understand why. And then he said I tried to do the same thing once, or I tried to smash a bottle over his head, and they're like, we don't remember any of these. So can you come like check our place out and see what's happening? That kind of got me started, because then we got like really crazy evidence, which I have a disturbing photo of that house that
What?
I personally think people talk demon all the time, especially on YouTube or whatever. But this is I think an actual
Real
demon
piece of a demon, for sure.
that I got on camera. Well, just a picture of.
You might think it's fake, because it does, like, even when I saw it, because I wasn't there when he did it, but even for me, I was like, dude, like, this doesn't seem real. Like,
No.
it seems like it would have been edited, but
Like
I know it's
it's too
not.
realistic looking to be.
It's way
so-
too real, and like
way
it
too
wasn't
real.
just from my camera, because I had another investigator with me, and she was taking pictures in different spots, but catching the same thing, but looking in different part, like watching us, turning its head and stuff. And so it was like,
Whoa.
and it was just like this thing in a dark robe, pale white face, looked like it was melted. It didn't have a nose or anything. It was just melted, and it just had its mouth open, just like
Where
just staring at us.
where in the house was the picture
Yeah, I was
taken?
going to say the
It was in
location.
their bedroom, and one of their reports was every single night one or the other would wake up and see a dark figure standing at the bottom of their bed where I caught the photo, which I didn't expect to catch anything. Honestly, I never do. Honestly, I just, when things happen, they happen.
Right.
But that investigation got me going, because we got voices, and we got the photo of it, and
And the photo was like, so it was like, it's in a jewelry box. It was in a jewelry box, and there's like a mirror in the jewelry
Okay,
box.
yeah.
And you can see this creepy thing in the jewelry box like this, but
Looking
it
out.
literally, the light reflected the complete image onto the wall. So you can
Oh,
see it
shit.
in the mirror, like in the mirror of like the jewelry box and on the wall. Like it
'cause the
reflected
flash, like because of the glass and everything.
it's interesting.
And it was moving, like looking around.
Yeah, because we were taking
shit.
several pictures, and if it was just from mine, it would have been, well, what the heck? But she said, I caught the same thing, and she showed me, and it was like following us around and moving its head, so that was really weird.
But I guess, yeah, you can.
I mean, long story short, that whole investigation, one of the key things that she kept telling me is every day she'd go to work, she would come home and her jewelry box would be open, and all of her jewelry would just be scattered out through her room, except for one ring. So I was like,
Interesting.
why just
One
the
ring
one
to
ring?
rule them all.
Right, exactly. So I was just like, that's really weird. So I'm like, what is the ring? So she had to show me the ring. So she showed me the ring, and I was just like, let's do an experiment. I didn't think anything was going to come of it. I'm like, take the ring and give it to someone, have them take it home, just get it out of your house. Let's just see what happens. Call me in like a week. So she gave it back to her dad, because she got it from her dad. The ring was from her dad's past marriage. Anyway, so she gives it back to him. She calls me a week later, and she's like, oh, everything's great. I haven't had a single problem in the house. We're happy again. Yeah, I don't know what. And I'm like, all right. Grab the ring, bring it back, call me back in a week. 2 days later, she's like, he tried killing me. I don't know what's going on. It's worse. And I'm like, get rid of the ring. Melt it down. Do whatever you have to do. Throw it away. Get it out of your house, because that's what's causing it. Something must be attached to this ring somehow. I don't know how. And eventually, she kept calling her dad, trying to figure out what's the deal with the ring. Why did you give it to me? And then he came clean and said, I gave you the ring because I was having problems, and these bad things were happening, and I didn't want it anymore. Pretty
Whoa.
douchey move.
Well, you know, that's what I do. When I have stuff that's causing problems, I give it to my family.
Right. And he just played it off as, oh, it's because it was from my wedding and you can have it, whatever, which was BS. He apparently used to do, I don't know if it was like devil worship, but he used to do bad things why he wore the ring. I guess that's why something was attached.
Interesting.
So I'm like, you have to get rid of it. Get it out of your house. It's done.
So definitely an inhuman spirit
It
attached
was
to that.
definitely unhuman.
That's crazy. Do you still have those pictures?
Oh yeah, we can pull them up.
I have them
Oh,
on
yeah.
Facebook. I have my collage of just ghost photos on Facebook.
Yeah, show us after the episode, and maybe would it be okay if we shared it on
yeah.
our social
Oh, yeah,
media
perfect.
too? That would be crazy. Hell
So
yeah.
the crazy part was, I'm like, all right, get rid of the ring. I'm like, I don't care what you have to do. It has to go. She's like, I can't. It's a family thing. It's a wedding ring. But you want to live. You want to keep your marriage because they were on the brink of divorce.
Right? Yeah,
I'm
they're
like,
trying to
if
kill
you
each
want-
other.
If you want to fix what you're going through, you have to do this. And I'm like, she finally broke down. She's like, all right, I'm going to grab my dad and we're going to just take it out to some random field. So they didn't want to like melt it down or anything for whatever reason. And they told me they went out to some random field out in the middle of nowhere. There's just this beat up, old, rusted up, nothing vehicle. They tossed the ring in it, turned around and walked away. And they said they got maybe a couple feet. And they both stopped and kind of froze. They felt like something was staring at them. They turned around and that thing was staring at them through the car.
Holy shit.
And they ran away and never turned back. And every year on the dot from when I helped them, they send me an email thanking me for saving their marriage. Because now they have a kid and they're married and they're happy and everything's to normal. So it's stuff like that why I started, because I thought I could help people. And I used to do just people's homes. Mm-hmm. So if they had problems, I used to do quite a bit, and I'd go in and like help them and figure it out if we could get rid of it, if we couldn't, how to deal with it.
I always feel you
stuff
get
like that.
more evidence too, more interaction with spirits at a residential than you do at a public event.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah. For sure. Like, well, it's just because when there's too many people, it's just too many things that can just ruin the evidence. You have noise factors. You have just a lot of things just in the way that can just really like damage what you're trying to do. Oh, yeah. So that I don't really believe in the whole public investigations.
Well,
like,
those spirits are used to people, like a lot of random people trying to interact, but then you go to a residential where they've never had interaction trying to communicate with them, and they were already trying to kick people out, and then all of a sudden here come some people trying to talk to them like, what the hell's this shit?
Exactly.
Who the hell are you guys now?
Some of them want to just come up and be like, all right, I'm going to start doing stuff. And then others are like, I'm going to not do anything because I don't want to talk to you because I don't know you kind of situation. So.
But yeah, you going to that one kind of was like, all the things you want in an investigation are happening. So
Literally.
that would totally bring me back to.
Yeah, and then I kind of got back in, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to focus on helping people
it's the
that
whole
were having
factor of
paranormal
helping.
and stuff in their homes. Because now it's just kind of like we're checking out buildings and, businesses and seeing if we can get evidence. Then it was like, I want to help these people. Because after helping them and saving their marriage, man, I never felt better. I was like, that is freaking cool. I want to keep going. I want to help these people. I want to figure it out as I'm learning how spirits work and how, because
You learn stuff all the time.
every single one's different, because that's what a lot of people don't understand in the world generals. They hear spirit or paranormal activity and they instantly freak out. You're like, you have to, the majority of, they're just us. They're just regular people that got stuck or they wanted to stay or whatever the situation. They're just human.
Right.
So if you're a jerk in life, most likely you're going to be the same when you're dead. Or if you're a prankster, hey, I'm going to start pranking everything in the house. Because if you move into their place and they're like, oh, this is my place, I'm going to move that over there and I'm going to hide this from you. They're just humans.
Right, yeah.
Heaven help me if Ghosty dies before I do, because he's going to haunt my ass and he's not nice.
I'll do fun things.
It'll be fun for you.
To you,
Yeah.
he's going to be like, excuse me?
I'll be doing, because there's those one videos that I caught on camera that, because I wish I would have had a camera back when I was a kid when all the crazy stuff was happening, because I had no way to record it.
Right.
But now people having videos, they can just leave recording while they're gone and catching cool stuff where there's like a knife block and knives are just like getting pulled out and then like dropping right down and stabbing into the countertop. And I mean, that's pretty intimidating.
You know those
but,
are fake, right?
Well, I'm just saying, like, some of those things, like, they're pretty intimidating where, like, you know, if that was happening to you, like, that would scare you if that was your house and the knives were getting tossed out.
It's true,
well,
yeah.
Well, I mean, if the pranksters just laughing as they're doing it, this will get them good.
That would be you.
Yeah, look, you'd be like, I think he's trying to kill me. It's just me laughing.
I mean, maybe 15 years ago I'd think that, but now I'd be like, no, Ghosty, go home.
Like, I'm busy. Leave me alone already. Gosh.
Be
Yeah.
pouring Nair in your shampoo.
Joke's on you. I'm
Just see
almost
the
bald. I don't need
shampoo
shampoo.
bottle flooding. Oh man.
So, what are some of the most the most exciting investigations you've been on where you were able to get the most interaction and most evidence?
When I have a couple. The Lehigh Haunted Hospital for sure, because I did hundreds of investigations there, and it was never a dull moment. Every stuff happened all the time, whether we knew it was happening or not. Whether it was just straight EVPs, like we'd go through the building. I went through the building with me, and I don't remember exactly what their name is because it was over 10 years ago. But it was the Salt Lake Ghost Hunter team. And the owner wanted me to like walk them through the building because I knew it the most and just kind of show them my evidence and then show them the hot spots. Nothing happened the entire time we were through the building, but when we played back the EVPs, there was voices and stuff that were there that no one heard. So I'd say the hospital was my number one. Actual catching a spirit on footage, I've only had that happen once, and it happened in Pleasant Grove at an old FLDS home.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Like, on cue, we were all upstairs. We all witnessed it. I was facing the camera magically in the right place, and this thing manifested in front of us, ran through the room, and I got it all in video.
What?
It is the
That was the
craziest thing I've
craziest.
ever had. And that house, like, we
were all just shocked, dude. Like,
it wasn't like we were getting just EVPs, voices we couldn't hear. It was something yelling at us and talking to us in the building, and we're like, it was absolutely nuts. That house isn't around anymore, either, because they tore
it was an
they tore it
abandoned
down.
building in the first place, but it's not there anymore. It's been years. So.
Oh, that's crazy.
They tore down all the like main haunted places in the area, which is kind of sad.
Probably a lot
It's
of
like all
kids
the crazy
breaking
places they
Breaking
took
in
down,
and-
dude.
yeah.
Like, sad.
Those are the two main ones that I've got the most evidence on, and the crazy stuff. Those two main ones. I mean, I've had lots of other evidence and not really evidence, but stuff happened that I haven't recorded, and I'm like, oh, I wish I was.
Oh, I know for
But-
sure.
There was one piece of evidence you caught when you worked at the Lehigh haunted, no, not haunted, but like the high school.
Oh yeah.
He
Oh,
did.
yeah?
He did, like, because he worked there. He like set up a camera like in the library,
Nice.
and
Yeah.
I remember seeing it, and it was like, to me, from how I remember it, was like he had it on the table, and you can hear, like, to me it sounded like there was a heartbeat, just like right next to it. You can just hear it go, and it just kept going throughout the whole entire time. It was, and there was other things, but it's been such a long time. But that was the main thing that like stuck to me, was like there was this heartbeat, and it was just like terrifying. It's just like, okay, why is this heartbeat just there?
Going on the whole video? That's pretty
Yeah,
nuts.
it's just weird, but
Yeah, that high school is definitely weird. Yeah, because I worked the night shift as a janitor, and it was reported haunted. And I did see like people running down the hallways all the time. And I still remember this one time. It terrified me, but I think it was just battery malfunctions. But it was like 6 of them. So I don't know. But obviously I'm by myself, so I have my headphones on and I'm cleaning and my music's blaring, and I hear like babies screaming. I didn't realize I was in like the part of the classroom where they teach kids about taking care of babies and the whole 9 yards
okay,
for
yeah.
whatever that reason is. And I'm just like, what? So I'd like take my headphones off, and there's just screaming babies in the cabinets, like
Oh, shit.
6 or plus more, and I'm like freaking out, like what is happening? But I mean, I don't know if that was actual paranormal or if it was just coincidence and the batteries are going dead, so they were just doing weird stuff. But being in the school by yourself and then
That
just
would be freaky,
having like wailing babies all in the classroom, and I'm like, what? I remember calling my wife. I'm like, do you hear this? She's like, what the heck? Are you killing babies? What's happening? I'm like, there's babies screaming everywhere, and I don't know what's going on. But yeah, so that was interesting. I forgot about that video
Yeah.
that I did.
I remember that. It's stuck
That'd be a
with me
cool
for life
opportunity,
now.
though.
I wasn't there, but that piece of footage just stuck to me, man.
What
But
about some of the
there's-
recent investigations you guys went on? Anything cool from those investigations? Because I've seen some from the Benson Grist and the Great
Benz-
Saltaire.
Yeah.
So yeah, Benson Grist is good. I'm not gonna lie, that place is good, especially because it's cheap. You know, it's not like these other places where you pay $500 just to go investigate. It's a
Yeah.
really good like place for the money. Like it really is.
Yeah.
As long as you don't have too many people. Like honestly, if you're just gonna do it as a group, do it as a group. Don't do like 20, 30 people or something like
no.
that's ridiculous.
But it's actually
But-
haunted. It's actually really the first time we went.
Yeah.
We had so many camera malfunctions and EVP malfunctions, but crazy stuff was happening. We were hearing a girl yell at us, talk to us. We still don't know what happened. Like me and my oldest son, he's one of my investigators. We were in the main building by ourselves. These guys were like 7 buildings away over in like over like a little schoolhouse. Whatever.
Okay, yeah.
And we're up in the attic and we're just like talking whatever because we kept hearing this girl like yelling at us and saying hi and whatever, and we're like, what? And we couldn't record anything. And we're like, this is what's happening. And we're like, all right, it's been like 3 hours. We're gonna go find these guys. And before we could take 3 steps, we hear it sounds like the front door, because the front door is heavy and it's wood, and it's just like, "Ah!" And then and the whole building shook. Like we thought they were messing with us. We're like, oh, these jerks just want to freak us out, and we just bang, and the whole building shook, and we're like, all right. So we start running down the stairs, thinking we're just gonna meet them at the front door, and there's no one there. So we go into the basement, we walk around.
No
we look
wind
around.
at all either.
There was no one. We looked out the window.
Not
and
even wind can blow that door.
Oh
dude.
no!
Yeah.
It's a
Have you not
big,
closed that
heavy
door?
No, I
door.
know, yeah.
like
It's this big, heavy, thick wooden door, and we're just like, oh, they're just messing with us. They got to be hiding somewhere. So we went through the whole place, didn't find anyone. We look out the window, we can see them like 6 buildings away, and we're like, what just happened? And then these guys come like 20 minutes later, and we tell them all about it, and they're like, yeah, we were nowhere near you, and like, this is what happened. They're like, no way.
But it was weird though too because this girl voice that they were hearing, we heard outside, because we were out, but we didn't get it like a clear like what it
It was
saying.
loud.
But
was
it was
really
loud enough that we heard it, and when they were telling us this story, we were like, what? Like I heard a girl's voice. Like we were over there, and I heard like a girl's voice. Couldn't hear what it was like, what she was saying, but it was loud enough that we could hear it. And I even pointed out in the video, I was like, did you guys hear that? I literally swear I heard a girl. And then imagine the timeline, it was like the same time. I was like, dude, that's insane. Like that is so crazy. But yeah, for sure, Benson is one that if you're a small group for like to have fun and do your own paranormal
It's a good
investigation,
cheap
it's
one
a
to go
good
to.
cheap one to go to.
It's very
for a
worth it.
good like experience wise.
Yeah, like so I've never had like good evidence from there, but I've had some really cool experiences.
Yeah.
But one of the things is they always have those towers make it really bad for like K2s because it just sets off your EMF equipment like crazy.
Yeah.
We noticed that the last
And
time.
so-
Well,
it
it
was
was
just
weird because
going
the
off like
first
crazy.
time we went there, we didn't have any EMF at all.
Which
nothing.
Was, yeah,
And then the second time we went there,
it was nuts.
it was
it's-
weird.
You could follow it. You could follow it in the ground.
Literally. And then the last few times we went, it was just constant. I couldn't get any readings. 'cause
Right,
It was
but I like
through
how
the
you
roof.
guys were using the cat balls.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even think about that because it's hard using the EMF meters in there, but the cat balls would make a good visual still.
Which
Yeah.
was weird though too, because the second floor we did the cat balls, and then the third floor we did the REM pod.
Mm-hmm.
And the second floor, the cat ball was just going off and off and off constantly. But then when we got to the third floor, the cat ball didn't go off once, but the REM pod was going off. So it's just like, dude, this is strange. Like,
Yeah, the last time we went, everything was just nuts. I would have to say my favorite one that we've done this year, because like we haven't been doing this for very long on YouTube, was the Wagon Land. The Wagon Land
was
is one of
crazy.
those like
Where's that?
it's almost by Logan. It's like Triumph or something like that. It's like right next door to Logan.
Okay.
So it's a couple hour drive.
I think
yeah.
it's up there like by Tree Mountain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like we did that just kind of on a whim. We're like, oh, it's not on the map. It doesn't even say it's haunted. Let's just check it out. And it happened to be one of the most active places we've been to, which is crazy. We got so much evidence on that place, like people talking in rooms we weren't at. shadow figures,
which we
running
didn't
back and
capture on
forth.
camera, but we saw
Sadly.
it with our eyes. But
Sadly, but
you
yeah.
know,
I mean, I did see that, and just it
voices,
was
hearing
nuts.
voices, knocks, bangs. It was just all like crazy things. And then the SS method that we were doing there, that we normally would probably stop at like 10, 15 minutes. This one we were probably like, we had my little
Just
brother.
kept going.
We kept
Just kept going
going.
because we kept getting just stuff that was
Correlated.
correlating
This
to us.
this guy just like was talking crap on my brother. He just hated him.
He did not like
He had
it.
one of those
He kept
faces.
saying
just
the
wanted to-
N word. He kept saying the N word to him, calling him an a-hole and everything like that. But every time we're like, okay, dude, where you at? Where you at, dude? He's like, I'm back here. Like literally, he was like, I'm back over here. Come find me. We're like, okay, let's go. So we would go over there, and he's like, haha, you missed me. And it's just like, are you kidding me, dude? This guy's playing jokes with us. But there was a specific spot he would go to, and before we even investigated there, this guy. There's like this military section, and then next to it there's like this real life like mannequin.
Yeah, they had a couple mannequins in certain ones because it was like they would do like tours. And
Yeah, it was
stuff.
like tours for like kids and stuff like that.
So they would just have them set up in some of the wagons, but yeah.
But yeah, but there was in that spot with the military. He felt something. He's like, there's something in that area that
I didn't like it.
I just am drawn to it really. But when we were in this SS method, every time when he hit that spot, we would get a clear voice saying, "Hey, Chad."
Yeah.
What's up, Chad?
My name has never been spoken. We've done it several times. My name has never been spoken on it. But it wouldn't say anything. I'd get to that mannequin every time, and it's like, "Hi, Chad." And I'm like, "I'm over here." And I'm like, "Where are you?" And he's like, "I'm behind the wagon next to you." And I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Like, even on the video, I even go to the video, I'm like, is this real? Like, what's happening right now? Like, this is... And
It's crazy.
my oldest, the one that he didn't like, his name's Zane. Not a common name. His name's never been... But it kept saying, I hate you, Zane. You're going to die. I'm going to,
It was just crazy stuff.
It was just nuts. I'm like,
Out of
wow.
any other place, like that was the craziest place. We had a great Estes method session there. Even just like the REM pod, we were getting some good stuff on. We got cat balls at the very
Cat
beginning
balls.
of investigating.
We had communication with cat balls.
Cat balls. We've gotten EVPs there. We kept hearing knocks, bangs, shuffling. Someone's like moving around. It was like we were all stunned because it's like this place like no one's really heard about. I found it on Ghost Tours. Like they have like a little list on their website.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's been there forever.
And
But
I heard that they went there once and then never went back, and so I just saw that and I was like, okay, well I need places.
Uh-huh.
I'm just doing this
Let's
YouTube thing.
check this out.
I need to get this list, and I'm gonna call these places and figure something out. So I found their website. I emailed them, and then they sent me to another guy, and then he was like, oh, I'm gonna charge you like it was like $400 he wanted to charge, and I'm like, dude, like this is a place no one really knows about. This place is not even like considered one of the haunted places in Utah.
It's not
Let's
even
get that.
considered haunted.
You know, I saw him 49's 500, right? You know, Great Salt Terrace 500. 400 it's a little pricey for a place that's like not even known. And it was like a month later after I told him like, dude, your price is way too high. If we're gonna investigate there, you know, and we had a decent following then too. And I think that's probably what had drawn him to be like, okay, I'll drop the price. So he's like, I'll make it 150. And I was like, okay, I'm down. Now that sounds like a good deal to me.
Yeah, that
Because I
sounds
want to make
doable.
sure that I'm getting my money's worth.
Yeah.
So we went, and it was like, yeah, I felt like it was money's worth for
Oh,
sure.
it was way good, but yeah, he wants to charge $500 plus for anyone after us to go in now, and I'm like, dude, that's messed up.
yeah.
But-
How big is the place?
I mean, there's like 2 other warehouses because it's just a whole bunch of like old wagons, like they're original. Some of them they have restored because they want to make it look nice, but it's all original wagons that they have there. So they all have pieces of history to them. But they
They're
have
all
like,
legit, yeah.
but it's all like sheds. It's not like a pretty building. It's just like
okay,
a
yeah.
big metal, like
Almost like a
warehouse.
hangar.
It's like a metal hanger, yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
hanger.
a giant metal, yeah.
They
hanger.
have wagons on like racks up above and stuff. It's just they have a whole bunch, but not a big enough place to put
Yeah,
them.
they have they have wagons from some of the old Western movies, like my brain just died.
I forgot.
Dang
was,
it! It just left.
Elvis Presley's
The
manager.
Elvis Presley's manager's wagons there, and a few other like prop
Porn
ones.
star, you know, just for you know.
Yeah.
Censoring reasons. Famous corn star. So,
Let's go.
I love corn.
So I mean, if
but it was. Yeah, I mean, it was so unexpected. Like the moment we started recording, it was just like, "Hey, can we have this cat ball next to us? If you can set that off, that'd be awesome."
and then bam.
Boom, went off, and we're like, "No way, dude!" Like, and then he would ask questions. Can you do this one down here? Went off, and I was like,
Yeah, it's all on video.
And it was just like in that section, the cat balls were going crazy, and then there's like 2 other sections, but they're like kind of outside. The doors don't really close; it's all open. We don't want like the whole weather kind of affecting like the sound or anything, so we kind of stuck with the main area, which is the biggest
Which
part.
we had a lot of activities, so it
And
was great.
that's where we were getting all the juiciness, you know, and it was just crazy. Out of every place, like that was a place to remember, really.
Oh yeah, that's my number one this year so far.
Yeah. Well,
Nice.
Place
Yeah.
we didn't expect anything and had the best evidence we've caught. And like you said, when we were, because like it's a big warehouse, but then it's split in half. So you got like left section and the right section. And the right section was where we're getting the Estes method. But like while we're doing that, I'm hearing a man and a lady like arguing with
Yeah.
each other on the other side and hearing them walking around. I'm pretty sure that's on video too,
Yeah,
because I had the camera and I'm like,
we heard a
there's
girl
no one
laughing.
over there. Oh yeah, a girl laughed at us at one point.
When this guy was bickering with my brother and stuff, like we heard like this little girl like laughing in the back, and we were like, "Dude, they're laughing at this because you and him are just going at it, dude."
Yeah, that's,
Like,
that's all on video too. Like it's all crazy.
it was such a great time. Like,
Yeah.
I felt bad for my little brother because he was like in the S's for such a long time, and I felt like he missed out on the biggest like fun part. But it was just like it was too good, dude. It's too good. I'm sorry. You're just gonna have to watch the video, dude, because it was.
But being
amazing.
in the Estes method, when you're hearing that much stuff coming through that you got to say, I don't know. I'm pretty sure he had a good time in that moment.
But sometimes though, it's like you'll do that and you just forget.
You
like,
lose how much time that was there because
Yeah.
you're
You
zoning
kinda
in, trying to
zone.
listen to everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when you get out, we kind of like, dude, this happened, and this happened, and they're like,
And
oh,
you're
really?
like,
That happened?
"What?"
Sometimes you can remember certain bits and pieces of what you say, but usually you're like, I don't remember saying that, you know? Like, it's very odd. But yeah, that place was, out of like all these other places that are supposedly haunted, that one blew us away, honestly.
That one definitely
For
caught me off
like
guard.
being such a small blip on the radar.
Yeah,
being
yeah.
one of the biggest ones
And
that we've done so
I
far.
feel like that's
Nice.
how it goes, though. It's like these places that are like not super big are like the most crazy places,
Yeah.
and then like the places that are so blown out and are haunted.
like
they
Asylum
charge.
49. I was stoked when we got, because I've been there once before, and when they had the whole building open, weird stuff happened. I'm still missing time from that place. I still don't know what happened.
Wow.
But they like closed off the haunted section and they're telling everyone it's unsafe. And then the side that doesn't have any activity, they're like, here's several $100 if you want to come in. So I was like, I didn't even think of that. I'm like, all right, we got Asylum 49. It's huge on the map. I know it's haunted because I've been there before. Weird stuff has happened. Let's go. We go, and I got nothing the whole night. He got a couple tiny little things.
I got.
And we
I
had
don't know.
another-
Something liked me because anytime I asked a question, a cat bulb was going off, or the flashlight technique it was going
That
off.
did happen a couple times.
That's where I've been able to like follow spirits with the K too, and like follow them around. Like, no, he's
Right.
over here now.
Like I was expecting a lot because I've been there before, and I was like, I felt like I wasted my money and time because I'm like, I spent hours there and I got nothing.
Yeah,
I
we
was
had-
like, are you
But I'm
kidding?
sitting here with like 2 other groups. Every time when the group would like, because we had his coworkers with us and stuff, and we would switch off people. And so at first it was like me and my cousin, and then one of his coworkers, and we were getting stuff. And then I would switch with his other group, his other coworkers, and when they were with me, I was getting stuff, and they're like, "Dude, it must be you, dude. I don't know what's going on."
Yeah,
Like,
I wasn't getting anything that whole night, and I was trying hard.
Yeah, we had some really cool evidence that night, huh? That when we went to Asylum
Yes.
last year.
Well,
Yep.
you see, you only got to do the haunted house side. I've done both sides, and I think you're right on the newer side.
We
they've-
did the haunted house side. That was the only one that was open. They had all their stuff set up, but like
Oh, okay.
nothing happened.
the front part, or
Yeah, that's what they
So
have open because the other
it's-
side is shops now.
Yeah.
It's weird in that building because like in the shop side, the Green Mile, which is just on the other side of the doors there.
That's where I had all my activity the first
That's
time.
yeah. So there's a ton of activity in the Green Mile there. That's where I've had some of my most interesting experiences there. And then there's that long hallway. If you've ever watched the Ghost Adventures episode where they've got the room 666, not that room, but it was a couple rooms down. It was like 3 or 4. That's where I got growled at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that hallway in
So
Green
it's
Mile,
past
like
that door.
And that's what they you can't go in that area
You
anymore.
get to 666, and that's it. Like, it's
That-
all.
They have
Yeah,
the
that's-
whole side blocked off. You can't even investigate that whole
Oh,
other
that's
side.
unfortunate.
And that's what I said. That's why I kept telling them, like, they
'Cause
don't
those are-
have the side that you need to investigate even open for us. This side,
Yeah, that hallway where 666 is, and
Yeah.
then the Green Mile, those are the two most active spots in that hospital.
yeah.
Yeah.
And if you can't get to either one of them, it's
You
just
can't
kind
get
of
to
like
either
You
one
can
of
go.
them now.
You can go to the room 666, right? But then after that, you can't. They have a door. It's all locked up. You can't.
Yeah, they have that
access it.
whole
So
section.
you can do the
beyond
room
that.
666, which we've tried. We both did.
So that
and we
room,
didn't-
like, I've never got anything in there.
yeah,
but
we
like,
never got in.
So in that same hallway, like right, the two rooms next to it, like 4 and 5.
yeah.
I think it was, or maybe it was, because they've gone through and like cut holes in the wall. So like
Yeah.
3, 4, 5 are all like one
They're all
room
one.
now.
Yeah, they're all one.
Yeah.
It was in that room. That's where I got growled at last year,
Last
2 years
year.
ago.
Yeah, it was. I
when we
think it
went.
was a little.
But it's
more
like that little hallway there is the most active hallway on the haunted house side.
Yeah.
You can get stuff in the other areas on that side,
I was getting stuff on the other side.
but on the
That's
Green
the
Mile
crazy
side,
thing.
like
I
the
was
Green
getting
Mile
the
is
cat
crazy.
balls. I was getting the cat ball activity and flashlight activity on the other side.
Yeah, what was it? The operating room
That one, the side with the 666 or whatever. Like me and him went through it separate times and got nothing through that
Yeah,
whole entire
the whole
hallway or
time,
anything
yeah.
or any of the rooms. I mean, I did get one room where I got the flashlight technique to work a few times, and that was it. It was
But
dead
that was
after
literally it.
That
It was
was
just
literally it.
minutes of flashlight and then just dead silence for hours. So,
So the Green Mile is probably where I've had the most.
yeah, that's
activity.
where my activity happened the very first time because we had
Yeah,
like
it
a group
sucks.
tour and the whole building was open for us. And as soon as we got to that area, that's when I actually got growled out in that same area. We were getting conversations with the girl. I can't remember. I think her name was Mary, I believe.
I think it's Sarah.
Was it Sarah?
I think it's
It was Sarah. We were getting like K2 hits. Like we had a group of people who set the K2 down, and we're like, because the owners were saying, yeah, there's this person, this girl here that she likes to talk to you. I'm like, hey, we all kind of sat at the middle of the table. We all sat back and we're like, hey, if this person's here, could you set that off? And he would go straight to red. And she would only answer when we would talk to her. It wouldn't even blip till we would be like, hey, so and so, da da da, and then bloop. Like
That's cool.
it was like 45 minutes of just straight back and forth talk. It was great.
Yeah, we got no EVPs or
We got no
anything.
EVPs that night. We got nothing. So
We
it
just
was-
got some stuff with the devices. Other than that,
We got the growl that came through the speaker at us.
That's awesome.
That's
The
great.
speaker that wasn't plugged into anything.
Yeah, we had
Oh, really?
unplugged it
Yeah.
because it was plugged into my phone,
That's insane.
and we were using that. And
It was still connected to his phone via Bluetooth. I had taken the auxiliary cord out of it. He was videoing, so when you're recording video on your phone, it's not broadcasting the audio over to the speaker. There was a growl that came through the speaker while I was holding it.
Have you talked about on this on one of your podcasts?
Yes. Yeah, we played it on the podcast.
I have listened to that one then because you're talking about them like, oh my god, I remember this.
Yeah.
So I have listened to your guys' stuff before. Okay, I'm like, am I crazy?
Yep.
Because I remember.
yeah,
That was me.
And then, yeah,
And
we
when I said, you hear me go, take it, how do you turn it off?
Yeah.
here, take it.
That was actually pretty cool. I listened to that whole thing. That was great.
That's something unexplained. You
Yeah,
that's
that was
something
pretty nuts.
When you
can't
unhook it
explain
and something
that.
still happens,
Yeah, the auxiliary cord was in my hand. It wasn't plugged into anything. Like we had just finished an SB7 spirit box session, and they're talking, and this growl just comes to the speaker, and everyone's like, "Was that your stomach?" And I'm like, "No."
You're
Well,
like,
what was crazy too is before that had happened, we had a bunch of K2s throughout the room.
Well,
And-
my REM pod on my millimeter was going off.
Yeah, that was going off, and then the K2s were going off in sequence, like it was coming through. And then they were
It
all
was
just
literally-
yeah. And then after they were lit up, they were all just going crazy, all just kind of on their own, but they just all
going
going nuts. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Other than that, like we didn't really get anything there.
Yeah.
Which I mean, it could have been the timing, could have been anything. You know, there's those factors of like it could have been the wrong day to go. You know, there's always factors that could play into that. I mean, there's always that rule like to really get a whole lot of like evidence and stuff, you have to stay there for like 20 plus days.
I would say, how many times have we been at Benson Grist Mill? That I've been there
at least twice a year for the last 8 years.
Right. So,
Yeah.
and then the last time we were there, I was getting pebbles thrown at us.
Yes, you did.
And it was just, I've never had that
I've
happen
heard of that,
before.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the way it was happening and happening on cue, like, that was probably one of the coolest experiences ever. And
That's
you know,
probably
how
what
many
got
times
through
I've been
me.
there before something like that had happened. You know, like at least over a dozen times that I've investigated there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
can
what I'm
see
saying.
that.
Like that's one of the places like we've had a really good time there. Every time we've gone there. I mean, me and my cousin and stuff. We went there just recently, not too long ago, and nothing really happened. It was kind of just dead. Honestly, there was no activity.
No pun.
So it was kind of a bummer because it was his first time going there, and we didn't really get anything. So it was kind of like, oh, well, I'm sorry, dude.
I've had that happen
The
with
first two
people.
times we've been there, we've always. I mean, the second time we didn't really get anything, but
It was okay.
the
but
first time was the
one
crazy
nuts,
experience we've
but
had there. But
You're not gonna get the same experience every single time.
Yeah.
You can go there one time and have just crazy stuff, and then you'll be like, "Oh, I'm gonna go there next week and have nothing."
Yep.
it's just
So,
such a
it's just-
popular place that a lot of people go there. So it's just like, how do you expect something spiritual to happen every single day? you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
Like that's
They
wear
need
and
a break
tear.
too.
So,
Is there any locations locally on your radar you haven't been to yet?
I've been honestly, it's an everyday thing for me. I just call and call. Like I do a whole bunch of research. I'm just constantly just okay. What places could be haunted? You know, like I don't really just like call every single place. Like
By our standards,
there's
100
this
years
place-
old, definitely haunted.
there's this place down the road. I'm gonna call them and see if we can do one. No, I just try to find any information that's like, hey, this like if it was on the news or something, you know, like the coffee shop in Logan, no
No nonsense coffee.
coffee shop or
It was on
whatever.
the news.
I
It was on the
remember something about
news.
that, yeah.
I saw that news article and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go there. There's another place in Salt Lake. It's an antique shop. It was on the news. I'm trying to get a hold of them. I'm waiting for the owner to get back to me. But they say there's an angry entity there that doesn't like people. He was pretty much a douche in real life, and now he's a douche in the dead. So, so yeah, there's few places that I'm looking into, but nothing like specifically. It's just like whatever I can get my hands on. Really.
Yeah, we're looking
I'm
at
tr-
stuff at like Arizona too.
Yeah, we're
like
trying to look at like
Colorado.
other states around us too.
Not too far away right now.
Yeah, I just went
Still.
to Jerome. That was pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
The Durham Grand Hotel.
Oh, a guy, one of our delivery guys at my work was telling me we need to go check this place out. Like 2 days ago, I totally spaced it. He was talking about this place and how it's crazy.
I was just there. It was pretty nuts.
Nice.
Okay, yeah, he was.
I
Telling
didn't get
me
to
that we need
investigate,
check
though.
That place out.
You have to actually be staying in the hotel to go beyond the lobby.
Oh, okay. That makes sense, I guess.
But I do want to go back there and get a room because I do want to start they'll let you kind of roam the halls and investigate all you want,
Nice.
as much as your room and the hallways allow.
Oh, there's one place that I want to go to. It's in Oregon. It's called what is it? My mind just spaced. What's it? That movie theater hotel
I don't remember.
McMinimans.
McMinimans.
Minimums.
Yeah, it's in Oregon. It's like a movie theater, hotel, restaurant, all in one. Like,
Interesting.
Slash
but they
bar.
have literally a book of people having paranormal experiences there. People just write in their book of what they experienced. And so when we first started the YouTube channel, it was like 2 months after my fiance, she called them because she really likes that place and she knows like they have a log of like paranormal activity stuff. And she called them. They're like, okay, yeah, you know, how big is he? Or is it for TV? Da 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 da. And, we had to she had to call like ups, like all the way up the scale just to get to someone to be like, yeah, just let me know when, you know, like.
Nice.
So it's just like finding the time, you know, like this is not like a full-time job for us. Like we
Right.
have
You
our
got to
own
make a whole
jobs.
trip around that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we have like jobs and stuff too that we have to do. So we work and then our weekend is pretty much our weekend to go investigate. So it's just trying to work time frames around for people and money, obviously, to work all that out for places because it's not like how it used to be where you can just go and investigate wherever you want and with no charge. You know,
Now pretty much every place charges.
every place charges. So and places are insane with that price.
Yeah.
Depending,
Like the
yeah,
solitaire,
some-
that's a hefty price.
Oh,
that
Fear
was-
Factory is even worse.
Have you investigated Fear Factory?
No, because
I wouldn't wait. I
The
wouldn't.
price is way. Well, I mean, I've gone to the public event, but it was a chill like public event. It was my first time doing a public event there, and I literally was in places where no one else was at. So I was in there by myself, which I filmed and put on the YouTube channel. I didn't really get much there, but like just for a private investigation there, it's like it was I think it was $1,400, $1,500 for like 4 hours. And then every hour is like an extra like $200 to $300 or something like that. It was insane.
Yeah, it's insane.
And I was like, no, thank
And
you.
like when I investigated, all I heard was the freeway.
Right? I bet, yeah, because it's right there.
Yeah.
There's a section, where it's just like the freeway just echoes in the building and stuff. But
So unfortunately, to get that place kind of cheap, they unless they've changed their prices. Is when I used to rent that out. The 2 times I rented it out, it was like $35 a person, but you had to have so many people. So
That would make sense.
That makes sense. Like if you do a private one, obviously if you have like 50 people, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can make that work. But if you're trying to do it as like a small group where you can get really good evidence, because in my opinion, having a big group is just like
Too much noise.
It's just
Too
too
much
much.
noise. You don't know who's saying what, so EVPs are just kind of thrown out the window.
Right. Even though you tell them not to whisper, they're
They're
always.
still
There's always a whisper.
There's always a whisper.
now when I'm around,
Like, seriously?
I've
Yeah,
had
I've
people
had to
get
yell
mad at me and leave. I'll look at you right in the eyes and I'm like whispering for the recording. I've had people get up and leave the room.
I mean,
Yeah.
if
I'm like,
public
stop
event-
whispering.
if public events work for you, then yeah, go for it. But for me, it's just like I want as much proof and evidence to prove to people like, are these places really real? Because I don't want to just be in a public event full of people and be like, it's haunted, just because there's these EVPs that could be anyone really, or like
Or
there's
someone-
a shadow, but it was because someone was at the end of the hallway with a flashlight and it was casting another shadow or something like. You
Too
know, I
many
don't.
people just makes it too difficult.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
get the content that you guys are going for, you definitely have to go just your team.
Yeah, I mean, we do try to get some help. Like he has coworkers that want to come with, and there's like.
But it's still more a controlled environment.
It's
Yes.
still more
Yes.
controlled. And like,
you know everyone that's there. Like I've been on so many public investigations.
Oh.
I've hosted a lot of public investigations, and it's if you go with not hoping to get evidence, if you go on to just kind of have fun and talk
Then
to the
it's
spirits,
great.
Yes,
it's
yes.
it's an awesome experience.
Yeah,
but
of
for like
course.
what you guys do, I definitely see your point. Like, don't go with a large group.
If you want to just like a Kickstarter type of deal where it's like chill back, this is a haunted place, go and have fun, go chill, or
We'll just walk
like
around
a
and
group
see if we can
gathering,
have
just talking to each
experiences.
other, and if something happens, whatever.
That's what my potlucks are all about. And I rent out Benson twice a year. We have a big old potluck,
Yeah,
and
that's
then
perfect.
everyone
Yeah.
just goes and does their thing afterwards.
And I'm totally fine with that, But yeah, when you're just trying to get compelling evidence to, what my main focus is like I don't want people like investigators like. I want to be like the future of people, right? Of paranormal investigating, and I want to change the whole factor of what, like, because you have to spend money, and they're really expensive. I don't want people to spend $500 at a place that people say is haunted, and you don't get anything, and then you feel like your money wasn't meant. Like you spent that money and it just wasn't worth it. I want it to be like. I want to tell people this place is worth it for your money. This place, I mean, if you have the money, you want to afford it. If you're rich enough to do it, go ahead and do it. But it's to us, where we're just regular people with regular jobs, and we're just telling you, okay, for us, it wasn't worth the money. And I just
What about outdoor places that you've been able to investigate for free?
For free?
Like in the woods or.
There's that Ophir and stuff. that
Not
little
everyone sneaks into
cemetery
cemeteries
up
like we do.
there. We haven't really done anything really outside.
We've done a couple.
We have. We've done the Pleasant Grove. What is that place? Battle Creek.
We did Battle Creek because that's a known place where there was a battle that happened and people have heard screams and this and that.
Was it easy to get any evidence out there? Or was it more harder being out in the elements and being uncontrolled?
It was harder because there's
Animal
it's
sounds.
a known place and people are always walking through and doing stuff. So
You have
it
the
was
water
difficult.
flowing, so you.
Oh, okay.
There's constant water
just-
flow, so it's
So my idea for that was just like, okay, well, we're just gonna use the spirit box the whole entire time because that drowns out the sound. It's all white noise, and I had a portable speaker, so it's just like we can put it on there, blast that, and see if we can hear anything. And at the time, we didn't. I mean, we heard bits and pieces of words coming through. Especially the specific guy, and there was like a guy and a girl just going back and forth, but when I actually reviewed the footage, there was like a lot of words just like telling us to leave. You're not welcome here. This is my area and stuff like that. Like it seemed like there is some like soldier there that's just standing his ground and just doesn't like people there. He's not obviously, aggressive or anything, but he's just like, this is my area, leave, But it was, out of that, it was like nothing really crazy. There was one time there, like when we first started, where I literally heard a woman. And I thought it was just a regular bystander, right? Just like coming through. But he went and looked around and there was no one in that area. And I was like, dude, I swear I just heard a girl say, hey, right up to like right next to me.
Really?
So I was tripping and he goes around and we had we had the cap ball go off and we had the REM pop go off in a certain area, like next to this fireplace. It was interesting, but it's really hard with the elements.
Too many things
I think
going on.
outside, with the equipment that we have, it's just not really good in the outside.
Pick it up for, yeah.
We did K's Cross also and got absolutely nothing.
We got nothing there.
So, that's apparently really haunted too.
I don't
and
have
it's been
my
on the
high
news.
hopes about that.
That's how we felt about Mercer Cemetery. Everyone was
We've
like,
done
"Oh,
that.
it's
We haven't done
so
it.
haunted." We got there. We were there for an hour, and we're just like, "There's like two spirits."
There's more
around there."
coyotes than we're
Yeah. Literally, yeah.
There was like two spirits, and neither one of them wanted to talk. So we're like, "Let's just go home."
Yeah, I've been there a couple times, not really for the YouTube channel, but just to see, because people are like, "Oh my heck!" People
I've
are
seen
like,
shadow figures.
Yeah,
and-
people do Satanistic stuff here. Stuff happens, and I've heard voices here and there, but it's like, okay, it's an old cemetery where I hear more animals than
I just
anything.
think the whole like investigating cemeteries is just kind of whack. Like
it's
just
hard when you're out and there's just it could be anything.
I think like if you're you're dead, and just because you have a grave doesn't mean your body's like your spirit's going to be in that grave. Like you're going to be with your loved ones, or you're going to be in a place that you really enjoy at. I don't think they're going to just sit around right next to their grave.
I mean, it can happen.
You do get stuff at cemeteries. I'm not
like
saying
your
you
butt
don't.
grabbed.
I was not in a position to grab your butt.
So yeah, we were.
He had a ghost grab his butt at the Salt Lake Cemetery.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, we were just wasting. We just wanted to get out and get ghosty one night, so we were just like, let's just go. And so
Well, the best part was running from security, because a group of teenagers showed up and they were like being loud and drinking in the cemetery. So
Ruining it for everyone
we were
else.
like avoiding them and doing our
gosh.
own investigation out and trying to be quiet, and then I'm over there getting my touchy-feely on me. I'm like, what the hell?
Well, there was one experience. We weren't investigating. We were just
Messing around, having fun.
We were just messing around. I lived in Pleasant Grove, and I lived literally almost right next to the cemetery that was there. And it was during the summertime, so we were playing like night games. We were going to play like hide and seek in the cemetery, hide behind tombstones.
Yeah.
And I remember one experience I had is I was laying down on one of the graves, and I look over and I hear someone say, "Watch out, they're coming over here." There was no one near me, so I just figured one of these guys were like trying to hint around. I didn't like put two and two together, so I like got up and like moved over to there, and I go, "Who said that?" And they're like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Someone warned me that you were coming over." I'm like, "Dude, no one was by you. No one said anything. What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Someone told me to move because you were coming, so I moved." But I mean, other than that,
you do get stuff.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of spirits that hang out there, but I
Yeah.
think there's just the random stragglers who don't know how to move around.
Yeah.
Like one guy who was on that team, the Salt Lake Ghost Hunter team from a long time ago. He started his own thing, just a Ghost Hunter or something like that. Mm-hmm. He was doing a panel one time at the very first Comic-Con, and he was talking about, because I had asked that same question, why would a spirit be hanging around there? And he talked about how one day when he was walking through a cemetery that he was going to be doing a tour through later, or he was going to investigate later. And so he was just kind of getting a lay of the land, just make sure there's no like open areas like not to walk into. But he said he saw in the peripheral a guy sitting there on one of the headstones. And as he walked by, he just kind of waved at the guy, and he said the guy turns, "You can see me?" And then we looked, no one was there.
That's crazy.
Oh,
And
that's
then
crazy.
later that night when he went back to investigate, and I don't know if it was EVPs he was catching or just the interaction that he was doing when he was asking about why are you hanging around here, it had to do with it being the only time that he sees his family is when they come visit him at his grave. and so he doesn't know how to go find them. Yeah, so he's attached to his body, knows where his body is, and the only time he gets to see his interact with his family is when they actually come visit him. So that kind of was like,
sense.
okay, that kind of opened up some, okay, that makes sense. Because when we were going through the cemetery that one night, we were getting interaction, but I could tell it was the same spirit following us around. It wasn't like multiple interactions with different spirits. It was the same one. And then he ends up grabbing my ass. I was like, you better knock it off.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, for us, it's just like we've had our fair time of doing like cemeteries and stuff. So like for our YouTube channel, it's just not like something like we have planned of like doing cemeteries. It's
Yeah.
just, we've had our fun time.
It's more
with
of like
that.
when you get started, that's like where you know you can go and play
exactly.
around with
Super
equipment.
easy. It's cheap because it's free, and you can just be like, "Hey, here's a free video we can."
Ours is like now it's like more focusing on like the major things because we've done our fair share of like free stuff like cemeteries and stuff.
Yeah,
just
big
free
boy
places.
stuff now.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a little.
Well, tell us where we can find you guys now on the social medias.
So we got obviously YouTube, you know, the Unknown Investigators. We got TikTok at
Also.
the Unknown Investigators and a Facebook page, the Unknown Investigators. So all the same thing. And I've had people too like, that are like, you have a unique name. Like it's different compared to others. Like everyone has like such a basic name, and yours is like kind of just different for some reason. I was like, I didn't think it was different. I've had this name like planned out for a while before even starting the YouTube channel. I was just like, everyone like the whole area of paranormal, like it could be aliens, it could be anything. Like that's why I say unknown, because these things are unknown to us. Like we don't know how this paranormal realm stuff works. We don't know how aliens work. So I consider it as unknown, and that's where it's just like, we can investigate aliens, we can investigate paranormal, we can investigate skinwalkers. I don't care. We're going to just figure out what is going on. It just kind of just popped up. So, yeah,
We go squatching.
we can do anything with that type of name. Like, we can do paranormal investigators, but that's just paranormal, you know? Like, this is like where we can take any opportunity if we want. We can go to a Sasquatch area and see if anything happens. And
while you're up in Oregon.
If you want to
just
talk to
spiritual
Squatch,
stuff.
I'm right here with you.
I mean,
What do
he
you
was
want?
saying earlier.
Ginger Squatch is in your presence.
But yeah, so it just like, I don't know, we've done it for a long time, and he's had like this old Sony camera that takes tapes and stuff, and he's been using that.
Oh,
I mean, he got like the GoPro, like off the Go Stop and stuff like that afterwards. Like he upgraded after like years of doing this. He finally upgraded to like digital wise, but he's always used these tapes. And I don't know. For me, I think like if we had YouTube and the cameras that we do now back when the Lehigh Haunted Hospital was around,
Oh, damn.
we
That would have been cool.
we would have had so much evidence on there. Like
Seeing him get lifted and tossed would have been the coolest
exactly.
evidence ever.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we've been around a long time, you know.
But just not on YouTube.
But it was just not at that time, you know. YouTube didn't even exist at that time. Like it was all just tapes, you know. There was like really no digital cameras at the time, really.
But now we're gonna try to convert all my old tapes over into it, and then we're gonna try to add them to our YouTube channel.
Nice.
Eventually.
Yeah. So I was just like, we do this for fun. This is something we've always wanted to do. He started a website a long time ago too. When he started to kick it back up again, he had someone like make a website and everything. It just ended up didn't working.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is stuff we do, like we like to do. Like my cousin likes to do it. My brothers and him, we all like to do this, and we always try to get as much evidence as we can. I was like, just out of nowhere, we investigated like the Nephi mansion or whatever.
Oh, did you too? Just barely?
No, we didn't like record or anything. We just wanted to see like if we could get any interaction. We didn't even have equipment at the time, really. It was just like we've been there a few times, and we just wanted to give it another shot because it was like cheap, whatever. After we did that, I was like, dude, why? I should just start a YouTube channel, honestly. Like, why can't we just start a YouTube channel? And it just popped in my head, and I was just like, hey, what do you think about starting a YouTube channel? I'm like, yeah, let's do it, dude. So I was just like, okay. I already had the name picked out, and I just, like, started going. And then I was like, okay, now it's the hard part, researching for places to go to. Because that was our struggle, really. Like, this guy was the big boss. He was supposed to be the one that to find the places. I was like, I guess I'm going to have to be the big boss and take care of it. So I was just like, okay, haunted places. Okay, where's the contact? Where's this? Like, and I just...
There's a lot of dead end numbers, huh?
There's the first thing that I saw was Benson Grist Mill, and I was like, okay. I looked up on Facebook, saw them, messaged them, and then they messaged me back, and I was like, okay, got a place, dude, let's go. And then it just kind of was like, okay, well, it works like on a schedule, so I need to work out a schedule, get this all set up, let everyone know so we can get as much people as we can to go, and get everything booked out. So it just kind of just kicked off from there. Like I got the one place, and then I was like, okay, next place, and I've just been trying to take it slow. There's there's a lot of people that like just want to go ham, just go. It's
hard and it's expensive.
It's expensive, right? Yeah. And so I tried to just like one place every month. Just go to one place every month. And if it's an expensive place, well, at least you have a whole month to save your money, so we can go to that place. You know,
or we try to get like other people to come with us to kind of deviate the money.
Yeah, exactly. It can alleviate that. So we just work together on that.
They're more ambitious than we are, because I was like, we should go one place every quarter.
I mean,
yeah, it's just like my main focus is like we need for the YouTube, like we need to like be efficient and have things scheduled, because like that's the main thing. Like with YouTube, you know, you have to have it on a schedule. You have to be precise on how you upload your stuff to get more people to see your view, like get more views and stuff.
For the algorithm.
And everything.
Yeah, it's a lot of science.
It's a lot. It took me a minute to just like. At first, I was just thinking, oh, we could just schedule, just get it done. But I was like, then everyone was like, dude, like you need to slow down. I think we should just stick it with once a month. And I was like, yeah, you're probably right. I don't think we can afford this.
I mean, if we get bigger on YouTube and we can afford a little bit more, we might start getting more.
Yeah, we got like a merch store too. Like we have our merch store, and then now we're actually like a YouTube partner now, so we're actually making money now as of recently. So hopefully we can start making some of that so we can go to more places.
Speaking of, that's some of it right there.
Make some money off our merch and make some money off that, so that way we can go to more places and for better equipment, because the camera that we have now isn't the best of them. I mean, it does good on night vision, but the whole quality wise, it's not good. So I want to like get better cameras, so it's just prettier looking, you know.
Yeah.
Like, you heard that, people. Go visit their store and buy some merch and get them going on some ghost adventures. Go to our affiliate link to Ghost Stop and get us going on some ghost barbecue business.
Yeah, we need to buy the old Santa Quinn place.
The old family tree.
Family tree.
Did you guys ever go there?
No.
Oh, you guys missed out on
I
that.
grew up in that area, so I know the story and I've seen the stuff, and but after COVID, they like closed down, and now they don't let investigations.
Well, I heard that
they sold it.
Yeah, they sold it, but now there's new people that bought it.
Oh, so
I want to buy it from them.
And I talked to the person they said that owned it last, and they said that then there's new owners now, and it might take them a few months if they do it. So they might kick it back up again where we can do investigations there. I don't know. But the last time I talked to them, they said we've been trying to talk to the new owners to see if we can start doing that again. So hopefully we can hopefully that happens, because everyone says it was a nice place to go.
There was a lot of action there.
Everyone tells me to go there too.
I became friends with the owner's kids before she ended up selling it. It was, her kids all had other jobs, and no one really wanted to continue the restaurant.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, COVID didn't help, but
COVID really.
Leslie was, she was in retirement age, and she was just done running a business. So, I mean, it was partly COVID, but it was just like she wanted to retire and enjoy the rest of her life. So she sold the building off, and now she's extremely happy.
Well, that's good.
I still keep in contact with them every now and then.
I feel like we missed out on a lot, honestly. I felt like I should have done this a long time ago.
Well, if I ever buy the place, you guys you're coming down, because my plan is booze and cues. Ghost hunter and barbecue.
Yes. Yeah, because there's a lot of places, like the train depot and stuff. Like, there's a lot of places that you just can't go to anymore.
I came across this abandoned building in Tooele yesterday. I'll pull it up on the map after this. Okay. Maybe we should go take a look-see over there.
I'm down for that, for sure.
But we should wrap this up. We're kind of going a little bit long on this episode.
We should. You got somewhere you got to be?
No,
we're
places
good.
I've always got to be.
It, bro.
Let's go talk to ghosts. So check out the Unknown Investigators Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. Go check them out. After you're done checking them out, if you want to hit us up, evp.pod@gmail.com, or our social medias, Facebook and Instagram at evp.pod. Ghosty already mentioned our affiliate link to ghoststop.com. That's where we get all of our gear. And, if you guys need some gear, we got a link you can follow. Speaking of gear, like, what's your go-to? I'm going to drag this out. You just calm down.
Go ahead. I'll hold this urine of mine. And
I've got a couple questions. So, he's kind of already asked one of the questions, like your like bucket list here in Utah, but like worldwide, is there like number one place that you really want to go investigate? And if you don't have anything off the top of your head, that's fine.
I
My
honestly,
number one,
yeah,
the
go-
Conjuring House.
Okay, cool. I know Andrea Perrin. She's really cool.
There's a lot of places, honestly, on my list. I mean, there's
That's
the
my
Waverly
number one.
House, there's the Conjuring House, there's like the penitentiary, the hospital or whatever. Was it Waverly Hills or whatever?
Waverly Hills.
Those Waverly's-
Oh,
That
is
is-
my number two.
Yeah.
There's-
that's a must.
There's a
He's
lot
been
of
to
places.
Waverly.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that used to be my number one, but it's the Conjuring, and then that's my number two for sure.
Okay, so we'll put a trip together. All of us will go to the Conjuring
Oh,
House.
damn.
I'm so down
Yes.
for that.
Heck yes.
Go
Those are a
to.
lot of good places.
Do you have like a go-to piece of equipment, something that you have to take on every investigation that you use? Like your
Everything
favorite
that we
gear?
have is pretty much everything we take with us.
Okay.
We don't have like every other ghost hunter that just has like big cases
Case
of
after case
equipment.
after
Like,
case.
it's literally like
I have a backpack.
like
So do
like
we.
I
We
got
have
a fanny
backpack.
pack.
It's literally-
my fanny pack.
It's our night vision, a REM pod, a K2, some cat balls. We got
flashlight,
the-
laser grid. Like it's just like basics.
I'll tell you what though, Dr. Ghost Hunters and all their equipment was badass.
gosh.
That was a lot of shit, and it was cool as hell.
Who was the ghost hunters we went to at Silent 49? What was his?
It was the Broken Wings Paranormal.
Broken Wings. He has quite a bit too. He had a lot of really cool stuff. I'm like, ooh, I would love to have all of that.
Yeah, it is nice, but yeah, it would be a pain in the butt to carry all that crap, dude. Like
It is a lot, but it's cool.
Yes.
for a small group, I don't think like we would need that really, like a big.
I mean, eventually we can start adding more, but money and time and
Yeah, money is really
we'll
a big thing.
eventually get there. But it's still early in the game.
Having extras is always good, just in case if something breaks or malfunctions,
Yeah.
you have an extra one. So, I agree on that. So.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Like I said, go check them out. Unknown Investigators.
All right, Ghost, you don't play that.
Peace out, butterflies.
This is the EVP Podcast.